Hey, what's up guys? It's me, Juan Pablo from 100% Finance at 100%finance.com. Mr. Cash Flow, Mr. Passive Income, the people's mentor. I got what you need to succeed. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I greatly appreciate your viewership. The topic of discussion for today is what's next after credit repair. So some of you guys might have enrolled in credit repair, whether it's through us at 100% Finance or another company, right? And you're curious to know what's the next step. I got all the negative things removed from my credit report. Negative things such as bankruptcies, tax liens, collections, evictions, judgments, all types of public records, collections, charge-off, medical bills, late pays on your student loans, all of that negative garbage, right? Even hard inquiries. Let's say you applied through us, 100% Finance, in regards to inquiry removal. You got all that negative stuff removed. And the burning question is, what's next? So I get people responding to that question often on our platforms. We have Facebook Live going on right now, as well as Instagram. You can find us at 100% Finance on IG, on Instagram, and Facebook.com/100%Finance as well if you want to follow us on those platforms. And so I had people who reached out who asked that age-old question, hey, what's next? I mean, you got the stuff removed for me, 100% Finance. I greatly appreciate that, but I'm lost. Okay, please guide me. Since you say you're the people's mentor, please mentor me, guide me, counsel me, give me the advice I need, the direction, the guidance on what's next. Well, that's what I'm here to do, okay? So without further ado, let's dive into it. So after you got all that negative stuff off, the first thing you need to do is start building your credit. If your FICO score, let's say it drops slightly because you got a lot of negative stuff off and you had age on your accounts, age of accounts is one of the things that determine your FICO score, okay? But if you got all that stuff removed, it's time to start building it by adding positive accounts. And this is what we like to go by, a saying we like to go by at 100% Finance. Negative items, remove. Positive items, improve. Now it's time to improve your FICO score by adding positive accounts on your FICO score. You can get secure cards from your local bank. And we have actually a list of them for those of you who apply through our credit repair service. So you haven't applied, don't ask me, hey, well, what credit cards do you recommend? It's only for our clients who apply for credit repair for us, from us, okay? Whatever the right proposition is, but you guys understand what I'm saying. But we actually give you a list of preferred lenders to go to help build your credit. It could be a CD, a certificate of deposit, right? That can help build your credit by reporting your positive payment history on your FICO score to your credit report. That's one great way, again, going to your local bank, local lenders, even major banks, and get a secure line, or even getting authorized users from family members or friends so that their positive credit history can report on yours. But it's time to start building it. Now let's say you built your credit. Let's say it got up to a 720 FICO score. What's next? I'm glad you asked that. The next thing I would like to emphasize is budgeting. We often neglect that. And let's just be frank. That's the reason why you got the bad credit to begin with. Perhaps you might have, bought a car, or you put, like I used to do, I used to charge dinners and shoes and all that stuff on my credit card, my apologies. And when I did all these charges, I ended up losing my job, and I would say, oh, the reason why I got bad credit is because I lost my job, my boss was unfair, life's unfair, or my significant other messed with my credit, or I had someone co-sign, or at the end of the day, it's your fault. Just take ownership, take responsibility. It's your FICO score. Just learn from that lesson, okay? And one of those reasons why you probably have bad credit is because your inability to budget prudently. Budget? Budget for what? Budget for those type of mistakes. Newsflash, bad things happen to everybody, but prudent, wise people budget for them. A fool devours all he has, meaning consumes every last dime that he or she receives in their wallet, their billfold, their purse, whatever you may call it. But a wise person says, you know what? Even though I made $10, I'm going to hide away $1 just in case the what ifs happens, for an oops fund, for an emergency fund, a reserve, okay? And that's what you should do. So if you happen to lose your job, or someone happens to fraudulently, do do some stuff on your account or whatever and it reflects on your credit report, at least you can have a reserve to help solve those issues, okay? But you do need to budget. Now, if you didn't have any skill sets in budgeting, that's perfectly fine. I know this is not taught in the school system, but you can learn it through this channel at 100percentfinance.com. So what I want you to do is check the link below, apply, and you can get access to our personal financial statement, which is in our back office. Now, this is a free download for you to be able to itemize all your revenue. If you just have a job, that's cool. All the income that you receive versus all the expenses, and you can have a bucket for each expense. Now, here's a tip. Just to make sure you have the proper buckets in place, this is the mindset I want you to do. Let's say you have $10, okay? Let's say you earn $10 as your job. $1, that's a tenth, so it goes towards savings. So the savings for the rainy day fund I just mentioned, emergencies, oops fund, and so forth. You have $1 to save. Another $1 is to reinvest, which we'll get into later, for business. So that way you're investing for your future. Just in case you may want to start real estate investing like myself. I'm a full-time real estate investor. I have 63 units in my portfolio currently, with a 9-unit apartment building under contract, expected to close the first week of October. Cross my fingers, right? So I'm actively investing in real estate, okay? But I have to set aside some funds for that. And of course I use creative financing. And that's another story. You can check out other videos to learn more about creative finance for real estate. How to get real estate using little than your own money. But it's always important, out of that $10, $1 gets set aside for emergencies, another $1 is for the future, for investing purposes only. And the third $1 should be set aside for giving, being charitable. By you being charitable, you're proving to the world, to the universe, to God, that hey, I'm abundant. I live and I reside in abundance. Therefore, I'm proving my abundance by donating, by giving to this charity and so forth, so I can attract more. It's a universal law. And many people say, oh, I can't afford to tithe. Well, my friend, you can't afford not to. Okay? I understand it. I was in the same position. Okay? I didn't grow up wealthy. I grew up poor, so I know how it is. But I had to force myself to be a giver. You have to be a giver. If you increase your giving, you will increase your living. You're like, man, it do sound like a preacher. Hey, just listen up. Do you want to live that lifestyle? Huh? Do you want to manage your finances effectively? Do you want to have pretty credit, that Holly Berry credit, that credit looking so fine that every lender, every creditor, every bank perceives you as an attractive borrower, that banks can't ever say no to you? And do you want to have passive income? Income that you receive on a consistent basis with little to no work required, so you can live the lifestyle, being highly paid for what you love to do? If so, then just listen up. If you believe the words that I'm saying and they sound right, why not try it? What's it going to hurt? Okay? Alright, so let me get off that tangent, but back to what I was saying. If you got $10 from your employer, $1 saving, $1 for reinvesting in the future, another $1 is for giving away. So that leaves $7 left for you to live off of. So 70% of the revenue, the income that you receive, should be allocated towards your personal living expenses. Now, you also want to break those personal living expenses into silos, whether it's for housing expense, car expense, entertainment, food, and so forth. Go to 100percentfinance.com, check the link below to get access to our personal financial statement. Because many of you guys are aspiring to be business owners and real estate investors, and I say this all the time in my events because I speak nationally, okay? I did over 30 events or so, probably more than that, within the past 2 years, you know, so I'm always actively speaking in front of a crowd. Okay? So with that being said, that's one of the main things I drive home in my events. How in the world can you expect to manage a $1 million real estate portfolio, which I have, okay, and you can't even manage your personal finances? It's foolish for us to believe that, right? It's dreams of grandeur. You got to sweep your own front porch before you go out there and sweep someone else's. Okay? So clean up your own credit first. Budget your finances effectively, and once you perfect that, for you incorporate it. You're your own most important business. So once you perfect your own personal finances, then it'll be easier for you to manage the finances of a business. Because if you're faithful with the few, you'll be ruler over much. Some of you guys might be hitting on some of the things I'm saying, dropping jewels, but you might not understand it because you might not be an avid reader. But hey, read consistently and listen to this video over and over and over. Brainwash yourself for success. That's why I'm able to spit this stuff just like this at a moment's notice, because I brainwashed myself for success. Alright, you can do it too, my friend. Just keep watching and share this stuff, okay? Cool. Now let's get to the third point. After you say, you know what? What's next after credit repair? Got my credit looking pretty. I got my budget looking tight. What's next, Juan Pablo? What's next is get started in business and or real estate investing. So my route, I got started in real estate investing. Why? Because real estate is an asset that you can leverage, you can get into. There's not too many asset classes where you can walk into a bank and say, hey, I want to buy this $100,000 asset. Hey, banker, give me 80% of the financing. Hey, seller, give me 10% and then renegotiate the rest. 100% financing, right? But with real estate, you can do that. So that's why I chose that as my first choice for getting started after my credit got fixed. Personally, I had bad credit. I had like a low 500 FICO score. I know what it's like to have creditors, collection companies call you all the time for the money, knowing darn well you don't got it. I understand that completely. You know, I lived that. I've been through it. It's stressful. It's frustrating. But I made sure I got my mind right, and I continually try to perfect my credit, budget my finances effectively, and invest in real estate, okay? And you can do it too. There's nothing special about me. I didn't have an Ivy League education, rich parents. I didn't have a lot of money, but I had a burning desire to get started, and I kept going. I became an avid reader and networker, and I suggest you to do the same, okay? So real estate investing is what's next for you, my friend. Why? It's easily leverageable, and secondly, it's not as time consuming, and it's not as difficult as starting a business. So obviously, if you're watching me right now, I have a business, an online business. And thinking back in hindsight, comparing it to real estate investor, which again, I have a 9-unit under contract, so it's not like I just hung up that hat and said, all right, I'm going to stop doing real estate investing to do this online business thing. No, I have a 9-unit under contract now. If you don't believe me, ask my partners, baby, okay? Fact check it. You won't find nothing negative, baby. You can look at all the testimonies all over. Let me know if you find something negative, okay? All right, so back to what I was saying. So after, you know, comparing both, getting started in real estate investing and getting started in business, whether it's online business, brick and mortar business, it doesn't matter. Business is business. It all deals with people, processes, and products, right? But comparing the two, real estate investing is much more simpler. And I highly recommend, if you're just getting started, to start with real estate investing. And once you get the hang of that, then you can say, you know what, I want to get a little bit more riskier. You know what, I want something a bit more profitable or a bit more fun that lines up with my lifestyle, my purpose, my mission in life. Then I suggest that you do business second after you get started in real estate investing. And why real estate investing? The reason being I got started, outside of the reason I just provided, being as leverageable and much more simpler than starting a business, it was this. I can have an abundance of time and an abundance of money. Right? I'm not picking up the phone, talking to tenants. I'm not unplunging or plunging out toilets. I'm not showing up to court to evict a tenant. I'm not knocking on doors, asking them for the rent money. None of that. All those activities are outsourced. So if you're that person who says, you know what, I want to have financial freedom. I want to have the control. I want to have control over my time and my earning potential. I want to have an abundance of both. I want to fulfill my purpose. I want to provide humanity, society with my God-given talents and abilities. It's difficult to do when you're strapped behind a cubicle at a job you don't like. And if you're in that situation, then I highly recommend that you get real estate investing. And here's my book. I actually wrote a book about it in length. Quit Your Day Job by yours truly. Here's my picture on the back, baby. So you can go to our website, just check the link below to learn more. It's pretty much the real estate blueprint to replace your paycheck with passive income, okay? So that's my time, guys, but that is the next step. You got your credit repaired? Excellent. If you didn't get your credit repaired, you need to start today. Check the link below to learn more about credit repair. Then get a personal financial statement so you can learn how to budget your personal finances effectively. Again, if you can't budget your personal finances, how can you budget a multi-family property effectively? How can you budget your own business and manage people effectively? So you got to start with YOU, You Incorporated. And then third, get started in business and or real estate. Okay? Now it's up to you. Some people I know got started in business and then they made some money and then they said, you know what, now I want to get into real estate investing. I did the reverse. I got started in real estate. Now I say, you know what, I want to get started in business. Okay? So it's up to you, but if you want to learn more, just check the links. If you found value, please share, please like, please subscribe, so that way you and your circle can be on your way to a better financial situation. I'm Juan Pablo. As always, this is to your success. And check the links all over. It's to your success. Earn passively, live passionately. Peace.